Okay, so yeah, I'm going to address some of the events of what went down in One Piece chapter 885, but this is also kind of going to be a little bit rantish, and what I'm going to be talking about a lot is regarding some of the fandom and what's going on, because right now a lot of the fandom is up in arms after chapter 885, mainly because of Luffy. They're really pissed off at the fact that Luffy is not able to take out Katakuri, and once again, he had to run away from Katakuri, etc, etc. I gotta say this, personally, looking at One Piece, and I've said this before, but I think I really need to say this, right? This is not fairy tale. This is not those series where the good guy is going to beat people that are far above him like it's nothing with a one-hit KO, alright? Like, honestly, I would be upset if this was an easy fight for Luffy at this point, especially knowing where he's at. If you think 2 years, just 2 years, finding out the basics, just the bare basics of hockey, training his hockey, the bare basics is going to be enough to fight one of the commanders of a Yonko group. Come on now, the fact that Luffy has done what he's done up until this point against Katakuri is awesome, and I love the fact that he's struggling because he's supposed to. This is New World. Oda set it up where New World is no joke. We're not gonna fly by these guys. We're not gonna kick their asses like they're nothing because this is New World. It was set up that way, so you're not gonna get Luffy coming in there and kicking ass, and that's what's great about it. This is not a series like Fairy Tail where our main hero is gonna kick a god's ass with one punch and call it a day. No sir. And I think you should know this by now, because once again, this is New World, this is One Piece, and the creator is Eiichiro Oda, somebody that knows how to keep things in line where, yeah, this is one of the bigger threats of the world. It's gonna be a hard battle. So the fact that it is the way it is, I do not understand why the fandom is up in arms once again about what's going on in this fight. It is great. What's going on right now is great, and I'm going to tell you why. Because Luffy is struggling like he's supposed to. Period. What I just said earlier in this video, Luffy's training in those 2 years. It wasn't training like, oh, he already knew hockey, he's great on that, he's getting to a next level. He was just learning all of that shit in those 2 years. Somebody like Katakuri being with Big Mom and shit, he's been doing this for years. He is a monster. So of course he's gonna be above Luffy, especially the fact that when he's on his A game, hells yeah. And sometimes the fan gets me a little bit like, bro, what do you want? If it turned into Fairy Tail and, you know, Luffy just kicked Katakuri's ass and smacked Big Mom, called her a slut, and won the fight, you would be angry. But he struggles against Katakuri, which is one of the commanders, one of the top dogs in the entirety of the series. You know, there's only a few levels above him. There's the Yonkos and, you know, admirals and shit like that. But yeah, Luffy is still gonna struggle. Maybe if we had one more time skip. Now, if we had one more time skip from here on out and Luffy is still struggling against somebody like him, then I could understand, okay, come on, bro, 2 time skips, what the fuck did you learn? But he even fucking managed, just barely, to beat Cracker. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it wasn't for the circumstances, Luffy probably wouldn't even have been able to beat Cracker. Now, there's a couple of aspects of 885 where I felt as though, if you look at it, Luffy has had some plot armor. Absolutely. Because Katakuri had multiple times, even when Luffy was going for the run, using his haki to be able to kind of see into the future a little bit, he would have easily known that Luffy was going to try to escape, and bam, whacks him there. So, Luffy has had some plot armor, if anything. I would definitely agree on that aspect, but I don't want Luffy to just win everything easily, and I'm really grateful that Oda is keeping in line. Yes, this is New World. I hyped it up to be, these are going to be the hardest fights they've ever had, and it's delivering in that aspect. But touching up back on 885, a couple of things. Again, one, Luffy did have plot armor, him getting away. It also does feel a little bit frustrating where Luffy has to break away from this fight that we're really all locked in, you know what I'm saying? We're all hype as hell for this incredible fight that's been absolutely amazing. Then Luffy, because Gear 4th is not perfected yet, runs out of time and has to, you know, go away, which also indicates, once again, we do need another time skip. I don't know when, we do need one though. If Gear 4th is so limited like that, we need to get to a point where he could use Gear 4th as much as he wants. Another thing that I was kind of like, really, bro? Like, really? Brule, what are you doing, bro? Like, it was funny, and I was keeping in line with some of the comedic aspects, but sacrificing the realism of, like, she should have been hiding away, you know what I'm saying? For a joke, and also plot armor. Brule just sitting there. She should have been inside the mirror watching this whole thing. So it was funny, and it was also adding for Luffy to get away, but Brule, what are you doing? And then Luffy switches from an insane battle with Katakuri to somebody even worse with Big Mom. I'm like, what the hell is going on? That wasn't necessarily bad of switching, because if anything's like, holy shit, that's even worse. But him getting away from Katakuri to go to Big Mom, I'm like, oh my gosh. I will say a couple of aspects of what's been going on in this recent arc, or this part of the arc, kind of had me a little bit like, because one of the things we've been loving, or the main thing we've been loving about what's going on right now in this arc, is indeed Luffy versus Katakuri. So some of the aspects of what's going on outside of that, like, to be honest with you, I would have personally preferred for the Sanji cake stuff to have happened off screen. The only real thing about it that is kind of getting some development or adding anything to the story is you could definitely see Pudding bonding with Sanji creating the cake, and we had that setup for that one commander that's outside the door. So there was some small things, but honestly, stuff like that, didn't really need to see it. Also, up until Luffy showed up there, we didn't really need to see all this Big Mom is on a rampage stuff outside of it, because again, we know Big Mom is on a rampage. Why do we need to see it when we're really excited and interested in this fight of Luffy versus Katakuri? Now that Luffy's there, yeah, hey, we're gonna see Big Mom there, but there was a couple things, especially in this chapter, again, like, as much as I love Sanji, like, that could have happened off screen, and then it comes back like, okay, Sanji got the cake ready. So I wasn't really a big fan of stuff like that happening when we have this incredible fight. I gotta keep saying it because I love this fight, Luffy versus Katakuri. Yeah, Luffy running out of time is frustrating, but absolutely I agree that it should be the case. Luffy's not completely ready, and I said this in my previous review, which unfortunately we're on break, so it's going to be a little bit before we get a resolution of you know, what's going on with Luffy versus Katakuri, assuming it goes back to that or whatever. But in order for Luffy to really take out Katakuri, I said it before, I'll say it again, he needs to get him off his A game. He even said, oh, now that I'm serious and I'm back on point, you ain't touching me. So Luffy definitely needs to do something to throw Katakuri off, get him pissed off. And I said it before, call his mom a slut. Say Big Mom likes a lot of cock, and bam, you'll get him. You know what I'm saying? Something along the lines of that, or call his sisters ugly. Whatever the case may be, he needs to use his words to throw Katakuri off, because Katakuri, you can see, he really cares about his family. What would throw him off? Talking crap about his family. So that's something there. Aside from that, overall, the chapter, personally, I still think it was solid. Wasn't as great as some of the previous ones. And again, cutting the Luffy versus Katakuri short up until, I don't know if we'll get another part to it or whatever. Disappointed in that aspect, but it does showcase what Oda set up to begin with when we was going into New World. This is a whole different territory. We're not going to have the Luffy versus Arlong type of fights anymore. That shit is over. Luffy's going to struggle, and until we get another time skip where he can master all this shit, Gear 4th, maybe even get another gear, or get Awakened Haki, it's going to be this way. We clearly seen chapters upon chapters ago, Luffy is nowhere close to being able to take on Big Mom, so he's not even going to be able to take on completely her commanders, and what he's done so far, even beating Cracker, is great. But yeah, I personally agree with it, and the fandom, y'all need to relax. I don't want Fairy Tail in my One Piece. I want my One Piece to be the way it is, and it's structured greatly. But again, it was an okay chapter. Don't really care to see too much more of the baking the cake part. Is like, that could happen off screen. Also, up until this point, didn't need to see Big Mom throwing a fit. It's like, give that fat bitch some cake and call it a day. And yeah, Luffy versus Katakuri, awesome shit. I just can't wait to get back to it. And with the 10 minutes that we have to spare, assuming that Katakuri doesn't jump in during Luffy's run from Big Mom, it's going to be interesting to see how he holds up against Katakuri once again. What can he come up with in order to take out Katakuri completely? Again, I say words. Just talk shit about his family. Your overall thoughts of this chapter? How did you feel, though, about Luffy versus Katakuri? Are you enraged that Luffy is not completely kicking his ass? Or do you agree that this is New World? This is the way it's supposed to be, period. Also, do you think that once we have another time skip, that's when Luffy will be able to take on people like Big Mom? And again, you gotta think, if Luffy can't take out Big Mom, then how the hell is he gonna go up against Kaido? How? Just how? And your overall thoughts of the chapter? What do you think about the cake stuff? Again, I'm not a fan of seeing it anymore. It's like, just show us the ending of it. Sanji showing up with the cake to shove it up Big Mom's ass or something. Like, don't need to see it. Your overall thoughts? But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and do a little stalking on my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm World, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember, anime and manga for life, boy! Bow! Have an awesome day.